Hello and welcome to the Interchange Book 3 Unit 12 video for giving reasons. So today we're going to be talking about how to give reasons or explanations for things. So let's get started. Okay, I'm going to show you some images and I want you to think, what do you think of when you see these images? Okay, so now some of you immediately might think, I know who you're talking about. I know exactly who you're talking about. But if you're like, I don't know who we're talking about, I'm going to show you a video and explain. So, enjoy. Okay, so after watching that video, I think it's pretty obvious who we are talking about. We're talking about Michael Jackson, of course. Now today we're talking about reasons and we're explaining things. So let's think. Why is he famous? Why is Michael Jackson famous? Now many images and many ideas come to mind, right? But I'm going to give you some specific ones that I want to talk about today. So the reason that, or the reason why he is famous is this reason. Maybe the reason why he's famous is this reason. Or maybe even the reason why he's famous is this reason. So these are some of the main ideas that we're going to talk about, and we're going to give reasons for why he's famous, for why Michael Jackson is so famous. So let's get started with the grammar. Now, if I say he's famous, you're going to think why. Now, when I describe why, I'm giving a reason. I'm giving an explanation. And the first way I'm going to show you is to use the words because and since. Now, obviously, many of you understand that because is for explaining, but maybe you didn't know that since can be used as an explanation. It's the exact same thing as because, just a formal way of using the word because. So I can say he is famous because, or he is famous since he danced really well. Okay, now when I use because and since to give a reason, it's important that I always use a subject and a verb. So you see here, my subject, he, and my verb, danced. Okay? So when I use because and since, I always use a subject and a verb to describe why. So that's because and since with the subject and verb. Let's take a look at another reason why he's famous. Okay, so he's famous again. Why? Well, if you guys recognize this video, you know it's the Thriller. It's a famous song he did, right? So, if I'm going to explain why he's famous, I can use this idea. And I'm going to say, why is he famous? Well, he's famous because of the Thriller. Because of the Thriller. Now, notice that I'm using because, and I'm also using this preposition of. Now, when I use because of, I need to use my reason with only a noun or a noun phrase. So for example, the Thriller. It's one thing, it's one video, it's a noun. So he's famous because of the Thriller. Now with because of, I never use verbs. I do not use action, okay? But I still can use a type of verb. For example, he's famous because of making the Thriller. Okay, so if we notice that making is a gerund, it's ing, that's a gerund. And when I use a gerund in English, it's often used just like a noun in the same idea, because this represents the idea of the verb making. So he is famous because of making the Thriller. So I can use a verb when I use because of, but if I do that, I need to make the verb into a gerund. Okay? So again, when I use because of, I'm using a noun phrase to describe why, or a gerund, which is also a noun. Okay, let's look at another way we can describe why. So here's our next example. His fans were sad. Why? Well, if I look at the TV, I can assume that his fans were sad because he died, right? So, if I use this, I'm going to say his fans were sad due to his tragic death. Now, notice with due to, again, I'm using a noun phrase, his tragic death. So there's no action, there's no verbs in that type of example. Due to is always used with the noun phrase, similar to because of. However, due to is a little bit different with the aspect that I can only use due to explain something negative. So if you think about this, his fans were sad. Well, that's definitely a negative thing. And if I'm describing why this is negative, why this is bad, right? His fans were sad. I can use due to describe why, okay? So I cannot use due to explain something positive, right? I cannot use due to describe why something is good, only to describe why something is bad, why something is negative, okay? But again, due to I use with the noun phrase. Okay. Now I want to look at the differences between two similar types of ways to describe why. For example, because of and for, okay? So if I look at a sentence like this, for example, he is popular, I can say he is popular because of his dancing, or I can say he is popular for his dancing. And there's no difference between using because of and for to describe why. Because both of them, if I notice, I'm using a noun phrase. For example, his dancing. So because of and for, I always use the noun phrase. Okay? So these are some other common phrases I can talk about. He is well known because of his dancing. Or he is famous for his dancing. Or he is recognized for his dancing. But let's look at this sentence down here on the bottom. He was a great artist. If I want to describe why he was a great artist, I could say, he was a great artist because of his dancing. Again, I'm using the noun phrase. However, I cannot say this. He was a great artist for his dancing. No, I cannot say that type of a sentence. I cannot use for to describe this. And you're thinking, why? I'm using a noun phrase. Why can I not use for? Well, when you think about for, okay, when you think about for, you have to think about the phrases that come before it. For example, he is popular for his dancing. He is well known for his dancing. He is famous for his dancing. Or he is recognized for his dancing. Now, all of these phrases have something in common. And what they have in common is that it's an expression. And the expression must be used that explains that people know the person or the thing for something. So in an expression like he is popular, I'm expressing that people know him. Or he is well known, obviously people know him. Or he's famous, people know him. Or he's recognized, again, people know him. And then I can use for to describe why. Also I can use because of, right? But the idea, if we look at the bottom one, if I say he was a great artist, I'm not necessarily saying that people know him. I'm just expressing my opinion. So it's really important that when you use for, you use a couple of very precise expressions. For example, he's popular for, he's well known for, he's famous for, and he is recognized for. So these expressions are good to memorize when I use for. If you get confused on when can I use for, then don't use for. You can always be correct if you use because of. You can use because of in both ways, and it doesn't matter. Okay. So let's just review for giving reasons. Now, the first one we looked at the beginning was the reason that, or the reason why he is known is, and then I give a sentence. For example, the reason why he is known is he danced really well. Or he is known because he danced really well. Or he is known since he danced really well. So with all of these, I need to use a subject and a verb. So with because and since, I need to use the subject and the verb. If I use because of, for, and due to, all of those have something in common. All of those use a noun phrase, right? So for example, he's popular because of his dancing. Or he is popular for making the thriller. Again, I can use for specifically in this example because I'm saying he's popular for making the thriller, okay? So remember with for, it's really important that you have some type of expression that says that people know him, okay? Now, the last one, if I said people were sad due to his tragic death. So due to, again, uses the noun phrase, but why is due to special? That's right. With due to, I always have to describe a negative reason why. Why is this negative? Or was this a bad thing? So for example, people were sad. That's not a good thing. People were sad due to his tragic death. Okay. So I hope this was helpful in understanding the different ways that we give reasons using because and since, because of and for, and also due to. So good luck and thanks for watching.